First, can you count to 4? Barry Bonds sure can. Entering play tonight, Bonds had been walked 46 times in 26 games. That puts him on pace to shatter his own single-season record for free passes. But when he likes what he sees, Bonds is hitting a robust .439. His only trip to Great American this season. You got to get out to see him. First to 3 Reds and the slumping Giants. Corey Lytle had it working early. No hits allowed until A.J. Przinsky's bloop single in the 5th. But Junior charges bare hands, comes up firing. Pedro Feliz now be done. Valentin hangs on, still no score. Next batter, Michael Tucker. Lytle with a one-hitter into the 7th. We'll get to that shortly. Bottom 5 now. Larson doubling with 2 outs. Then Ryan Friel, the bullet to left. And you can take away Bonds' bat, but you cannot take away the arm. 8 Gold Gloves in this throw to nail Larson at the plate, and we're still scoreless. Then in the 7th, 2 outs, and Bonds due up. Dave Miley decides to intentionally walk Bonds and put the winning run on base, and San Francisco Giant has not hit a home run after Bonds was intentionally walked since 2002. Till now. 2-run shot by Pedro Feliz. 2-0 G-Men. Now 3-0 Giants make it 5-zip. Marquise Grissom over Junior's head. Lytle just runs out of gas. 7 2/3, 6 hits, 6 earned runs. Reds threaten in the 9th. 1 run across, and the sack's packed for Juan Castro. But it can't be Cinco de Mayo every day. Reds lose 6-1. So what about walking Bonds with no one on base?
Well, I mean, the result wasn't what we wanted, but the strategy was, it's the move to make. I mean, it's well documented what this guy has been capable of doing. It's unfortunate that, we couldn't, battle back and get some runs, but, Corey pitched a hell of a game for us.
Back-to-back matinees to close out this homestand tomorrow and Sunday. Paul Wilson still undefeated, 3-0, takes on righty Dustin Hermanson. He's all square at 1-1. 1:15 first pitch tomorrow.
I'm Dan Horn alongside the ever-effusive man called Horty, who is gushing with praise for Dave Miley and his decision to move Junior from 3rd to 5th in the batting order. The results have been impressive.
Have mercy. He has 5 hits and 12 at-bats, 4 runs, 7 RBIs, and 3 crags, 3 home runs. All this since Thursday when Miley made the move. Today, Reds playing Game 2 of the series with the Giants. Oh, yeah. Young ladies packed Great American Ballpark to get their American Girl doll outfits today and to see the one and only Barry Bonds. And when you hit behind Bonds, you'll see a lot of good pitches. Ask Jeffrey Hammond's first inning ding-dong gave San Fran the lead until the 2nd inning. When Junior unloaded on Dustin Hermanson, bing! Junior has 3 career hits off the Giants right-hander, all home runs. And the next batter, Ryan Friel, ripping and running, chugging with all he's got, taking it around 2nd, heading for 3rd, sliding in less than 10 seconds. That's speed. 2 men on for D'Angelo Jimenez. That ball's in no man's land. Michael Tucker can't get it. Bonds can't get it. Friel will walk home. And Corky Miller tried to score from first. Bad idea. He's so out. Corky doesn't run much better than Horty. So out. But the Reds take a 2-1 lead. Reds pitched carefully to Bonds today, and even when he got his rips, Reds were, look at Ryan Friel doing it again. Bonds went 0 for 3 with a walk. It's 2-2 when Paul Wilson gets in trouble. Pedro Feliz grounds into the 6-4-3 DP to end the inning, and Paul is pumped. Still tied in the 5th when the captain making it happen. Smokes one to center. Larkin's first home run of the year and first since August of last year. Some say one of the longer ones of his career. 4-2 Reds. And how about Junior? Back in the 8th. Spanking. 3/4 of the way up in the sun deck. His 3rd in 3 days. 6th on the season. Danny Graves picks up his 13th save. Wilson improves to 4-0. Reds get the Giants 5-3, and it seems Junior got a little hitting advice before the game.
Talked to my dad over the phone, and then he came up and saw me, and he's pulling his head. They're pitching him away. He's pulling off. He's rolling out. You name it, he'll tell me.
The 2 big ones, obviously, like you said, he just missed the 3rd one, and the captain's home run was big, and Wilson did a great job.
It was a good win for all of us today. Everybody did their job. Offensively, we had a great day. Griff, Lark, Defensively, they picked me up behind me when I needed plays, and I made the pitches when I needed to.
Tomorrow it's a 1:15. It's a rubber game in the series. Todd Van Poppel makes his first start for the Reds since being moved into the rotation Monday. And former Red Brett Tomko starts for the Giants.
When you get to watch a team a couple times, you kind of see how they're swinging, and hopefully you got a game plan going into the game. But it still breaks down to you making your pitches and making quality pitches at the right time, and hopefully you get lucky and get some balls hit at people.
John Vander Wal was the butt of jokes this winter when he tore a ligament in his knee while shoveling snow. The Reds weren't laughing then, but they are smiling now. Despite undergoing serious knee surgery in late January, Vander Wal is getting close to returning to action. In fact, he could begin a rehab stint in a couple of weeks. The 38-year-old left-handed hitter would be a huge boost to the Reds bench. Vander Wal set a major league record for most pinch hits in a season back in 1995. Vander Wal also ranks third in baseball history in pinch hit home runs. That's impressive.
Todd Van Poppel gets his first start of the season, but the numbers heading into today's game not in favor of the veteran righty. In 87 career starts, Van Poppel's ERA is 6.45. That's about a run worse than the man he's replacing, Jimmy Haynes. For the Giants, former Reds ace Brett Tomko comes into today's game with an ERA also over 6. No pitcher's duel at Great American Ballpark. Van Poppel runs into trouble in the very first inning. Marquise Grissom says, "Take that." 2-run homer to left, and the Giants are on top 2-zip. But in the bottom of the first, Tomko walks Ken Griffey Jr., walks Ryan Friel, and walks Jacob Cruz, and that walks in Barry Larkin, making a 2-1 ball game. On to the Giants' 6. Edgardo Alfonso singles to left center field. Grissom comes home. Giants lead 3-1. They'll tack on another to make it 4-1. Reds strike back in the bottom of the 6th. Cruz singles to right. Sean Casey scores. It's now 4-2. And Juan Castro ties it up with the double to left. Javier Valentin and Cruz score, so it's 4 apiece. Now when the Giants take the lead again, Sean Casey bashes his 4th home of the season, a solo shot, and we are deadlocked again. It's 5-all. Then in the 9th, bases loaded when Danny Graves gets JT Snow to hit into what should be a double play. But he just beats the throw to first base. That plates the go-ahead run. Watch it again in slow-mo. It is just that close. Giants 6-5, but in the bottom of the 9th, 1 out. Barry Larkin with the sac fly. Good enough to score Castro as the Reds come back for the 4th time to tie it. Now the Reds have a chance to win it later in the 9th off former Red Jim Brower. Bases loaded for Ryan Friel, but he grounds out to end the threat, and so we go to the 10th. That's when the Reds intentionally walk Barry Bonds. Remember they did it Friday and get burned? They give him another free pass today. Bonds winds up getting the 3rd thanks to Alfonso's double to left. And once again, a Bonds walk leads to a Reds loss as Davy Cruz brings in Barry with the sac fly. That is your game-winning run, and the Reds go down 7-6. Giants take 2 out of 3 this weekend.
You're talking about the best player in baseball right there, so it's kind of a catch-22. So, we put him on, and they were able to get some hits to get him in.
You understand when you're asked to intentionally walk anybody, not just Barry, that you still got to go after the next guys. And I did, and I thought I made some pitches, but just so happened today that I got burned.
It's a lot easier for people to answer to you if Davy Cruz beats him with the sacrifice fly instead of Barry Bonds hitting a home run. So that's just the way it is. That's just the way the game's gotten.
Now the Reds' pitching rotation has changed for the West Coast swing. Tuesday's scheduled starter, Jose Acevedo, has been pushed back to Thursday. He's still recovering from a blister on his right middle finger. Aaron Harang and Corey Lytle will still get 4 days rest thanks to tomorrow's off day. And just when you think Brandon Larson is ready to make his mark in the big leagues, the Reds' 3rd baseman heads back to the disabled list, suffering a sprained thigh while sliding hard into home plate during Friday night's 6-1 loss to the Giants. Tim Hummel gets called up to take his roster spot.
It's extremely frustrating. I mean, I want to be out there playing, and like I said, it really wasn't my call, so I can't really do nothing about it. I just got to get rested up and get better, and 15 days from now, or however soon it takes, I'd like to get back out there.
Now for more Reds talk regarding Larson, upcoming transactions, the week that was, and the road trip ahead. Let's throw it over to Marshall Harris for Who Asked You?
Thanks, Harvey. Obviously, we're talking Reds today, joined by Richard Skinner in today's ball game. One of the tough ones to win. And key decision there to walk the winning run in the form of Barry Bonds intentionally That's kind of a risky call, especially since you lost in that manner just a couple of days
That's
ago.
3 days in a row they've done it, twice in almost the situation they were in. Friday night, obviously, a 0-0 ball game. He decided, hey, I'll let Pedro Feliz try to beat me. He did. Today, a little different circumstance just because you were already in extra innings. It's a tie game. To lead off the inning to walk Bonds, I think is a little bit riskier than the decision the other night. But they did make that decision Friday at about 3:30 or 4 o'clock. They had their staff meeting. They said no matter what the situation, if the game's on the line, they're going to walk Barry Bonds. And so they stuck to their guns, and it cost them twice, Marshall.
And obviously, Edgar Alfonso came in and did the job, and the Giants get the win. Still not, they lose their first series at home all season, but it's not that bad off because you're still above 500, and that's with an injury-riddled roster, and they're getting a couple of those guys back.
Yeah.
Talking to LaRue today, he said he'll be back in the lineup Friday, and with him and Kearns, you got a case of two individuals, one in LaRue who was swinging a high bat when he went down, one who was not, was Austin Kearns, and maybe this can get him going.
It is amazing they do have the record they do, but keep in mind now, 4 of the next 5 series, they're going to play teams that, as of today, were in the playoffs. Florida, San Diego, and Los Angeles. Florida twice, and Houston. And they didn't fare so well against Houston the last time, losing 3 of 4. Really, if you look at the schedule they've played to this point, they haven't played that many difficult teams. In fact, almost all of them have been sub-500 teams, except for the Cubs and except for Houston, and they lost 3 of 4 to Houston. We'll see what they're made of here over the next 5 series, because they got 4 very difficult ones coming up.
Obviously, now they lost Brandon Larson with the strained thigh. He's out on the 15-day DL, and then you're bringing somebody else up, and that means when everybody comes back, somebody's going to go down, and we're talking about a club out of options.
Somebody's got to go down. Well, they are out of options, but I can't imagine anybody in baseball is going to pick up Jason Romano if he gets cut. If it comes down to Norton getting cut, no one's going to pick him up. And maybe they will because he's left-handed. Reith, nobody's going to pick up. There was a big story made today in the Inquirer about the fact that a bunch of guys are out of options. But the point is, if they can't play, they can't play. And if you cut them, so what? They're out of options. No one's going to pick them up. You can still designate them for assignment. They can still go to your AAA roster. So I don't think that's a problem, particularly with Romano. He is so overmatched at the big league level. It's like you or I trying to hit big league pitching.
Now, I'm not saying that I could do the things, because he does have the one hit.
All right, he's got the one hit, all right? But if you got 14 at-bats, you might get a hit. You might bunt.
I probably would try to bunt.
There you go,
if I had a hit. We talk about the pitching, though. A guy that was struggling, Jimmy Haynes, Ty Van Poppel, comes in, and obviously he's not ready to go, 6-7 strong innings, but he comes in 4 innings, only gives up 2 runs, which is more than Jimmy Haynes had done.
Well, that's a fact. And I don't think they were going to expect Ty Van Poppel to go 7. I would have thought they might have left him in for another inning or so, but they're going to try to build him up. The problem is, if you look at him in his career, 87 career starts, a career ERA of 6.45. That's a pretty long track record of no success. Now, I give him credit today. He did pitch pretty well today. He got Bonds out a couple of times, and he's kind of actually owned Bonds in his career, strangely enough. I think Barry's now 0 for 5 against Todd Van Poppel, of all people, but long-term, he's not the answer. He's a very short-term stopgap solution.
So obviously he's just a makeshift solution, but like you said, they did a good job overall on Bonds, holding him hitless on the weekend, although he did score the winning run twice.
That's the funny part. I mean, they held him hitless, and he still came back to beat you because you walked him twice. That's the strange thing about it, is he still is scary enough that even when he's not swinging the bat, even when he's not dialed in, you play the game totally different than what you would normally play it. There's nobody else in baseball. You walk in a 10th inning to start an extra inning intentionally. Not one other player in baseball you do that to.
We'll see if they can't fare better on the road. Thanks for joining us, Richard Skinner. Back to you, Harvey.
Marshall, thank you very much. Tonight, you at home make the call. Which Reds player is most surprising among Major League leaders? Sean Casey, top 10 in batting average, hits, and doubles. Adam Dunn with 10 homers. Danny Graves, tops and saves. Or Paul Wilson, unbeaten at 4-0. Pick up the phone now. Call us at 345-1212. Register your vote, and we'll have your results a little later in the show.
The reality is we have to get better, and you have to do it step by step. And we just felt at this time, for the benefit of the organization and also Jimmy Haynes, that we needed to part ways.
2 years ago, Jimmy Haynes won 15 games for the Reds. Since then, he's been the human forfeit. And today he was given his release. It's a bit of a surprise, only because of his contract. Haynes will make $2.5 million this year, and the Reds will have to pay all of it if he doesn't sign with another team, and most of it even if he does. Still, that's better than sending him back out to the mound. Haynes was 0-3 with a 9.60 ERA, and since last year, when he was the opening day starter, Jimmy had 2 wins and 15 losses. He's expected to be replaced on the roster by left-handed reliever Mike Matthews, who has a 2.13 ERA and 11 appearances at Louisville. Speaking of Louisville, 2 key Reds began rehab stints there tonight. Austin Kearns, who's missed a dozen games with a broken bone in his forearm, and Jason LaRue, who's missed 10 games with a broken finger.
I feel like I'm ready to start playing, so hopefully come down here and, you know, get back into form and get out.
Already got flights and everything reserved, basically come out Friday. I think, I'm not sure exactly what time the flight leaves, but I got to go down and play Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and then fly out sometime around midday, I think.
I thought it was going to be longer, so to be, you know, only be almost 2 weeks now is surprised me a little bit. It's fine. I can't even tell it happened.
Well, it wasn't a good night for the team as Louisville got hammered by Charlotte 16-4, but Kearns and LaRue knocked in runs. Austin was 1 for 4 with an RBI single his first time up. LaRue finished 0 for 3, but did knock in a run with a sac fly. They will suit up again for the Bats tomorrow night. The Reds had today off. They open a road trip in San Diego tomorrow night.